Question. DS. If absolute value of R is greater than absolute value of S, is R greater than S? Condition 1. R is greater than 0. Condition 2. S is greater than 0. Solution. Let's solve this DS question using the variable approach. The distance between x and y on the number line is given by absolute value of whole of x minus y, or absolute value of whole of y minus x. Since absolute value of whole of x minus y equals absolute value of whole of y minus x. Let's apply the 3 steps suggested previously. Follow the first step of the variable approach by modifying and rechecking the original condition and the question. We have to find out whether R is greater than S if absolute value of R is greater than absolute value of S. Remember that absolute value of R is greater than absolute value of S means absolute value of whole of R minus 0 is greater than absolute value of whole of S minus 0, which means the distance between R and 0 is greater than the distance between S and 0. However, we do not know whether R is positive or negative. Follow the second and the third steps. From the original condition, we have 2 variables, R and S, and 1 equation. Absolute value of R is greater than absolute value of S. To match the number of variables with the number of equations, we need 1 more equation. Since conditions 1 and 2 will provide 1 equation each, D would most likely be the answer. Recall 3 principles and choose D as the most likely answer. Let's look at each condition. Condition 1 tells us that R is greater than 0. Since R is greater than 0, and the distance between R and 0 is greater than the distance between S and 0, R is always greater than S, as shown below, and we get yes as the answer. Absolute value of whole of S minus 0 equals absolute value of S is between S and 0. Between 0 and S is absolute value of whole of S minus 0 equals absolute value of S. Absolute value of whole of R minus 0 equals absolute value of R is between 0 and R. This is always yes. The answer is unique, yes, so the condition is sufficient by the common mistake type 1, which means that the answer must be in terms of unique yes or no. Condition 2 tells us that S is greater than 0. If R is also positive, R is greater than S, yes, but if R is negative, R is less than S, no, as shown below. R equals negative 4 is less than S equals 2, no. S equals 2 is less than R equals 4, yes. It coexists, yes and no. The answer is not unique, so the condition is not sufficient by the common mistake type 1, which means that you get both yes and no as the answer. It is not sufficient. Condition 1 alone is sufficient, so A is the correct answer. Answer A. Hopefully, after going through all these examples, you can see how the same concepts can be applied to a variety of questions. So, remembering a few concepts allows you to solve multiple questions on the GMAT.